Beep, beep. What is up, ninjas? My name is Sam World, and welcome to your next Future Rave Soundset. Now, in today's video, we're going to be looking at my collaboration with Ken Bauer, an old student of mine that releases Future Rave music, has a label called Future Rave Music, and also makes amazing Future Rave music. It's like a triple vendetta there. Now, Ken's an awesome producer, and he does a lot for the community, signing a lot of young talent and promoting them properly. Now, Ken reached out to me to make a Future Rave Soundset for you guys, and I said, sure, as long as I have a little bit of say in the sounds that are going to be allowed and to maintain quality. You can find the soundset over at EvoSounds.com. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description down below. In order to audition these presets properly, we're going to put them in their natural environment. Now, here I have a little instrumental from a previous video I made on teaching you guys how to make a Future Rave drop from scratch, which is going to sound like this. Now, the bass is from the pack, and again, in that video, I show you guys how to mix the bass and what you want to. But just to let you guys know, there is saturation, EQ8, and a compressor, and more EQ on these leads that I'm about to show you. And there's also going to be a bit of the Future Rave reverb, which is just going to be a Valhalla vintage bird with some compression, sidechain, and EQ. So the first ARP we have is going to be the ARP bell, where you're just going to hit the root note of the track you're in and just let it do its thing. Notice as I play it, I'm moving a couple of the modules, and this is one of the things that I wanted to maintain in this pack. I told Ken that if we're going to be doing this, there needs to be modules, as I preach to you, a lot of you guys, that the difference between an amateur or an amateur sounding producer, beginner producer, intermediate to advanced is going to be the amount of automation you find in the tracks. Many artists will keep it simple while decreasing stuff with automation in order to make the track feel more alive and create a lot more interest for the ear. And then we're going to go to the bass section. Now, I'm not going to lie, you're not going to find a lot of basses in this pack that are going to be good for like rolling or like doom doom doom. They're gonna be more of like techno style basses, in the sense that you're gonna have these kind of sounds to really just get it on the drop, which is gonna be the brand new sound that David Guetta and Morton have been doing, where they have the rolling bass and then they have this very big, and then it lingers for a while, which I like doing stuff like that. Here we have a really cool cinematic one for breaks. Oh, tasty. Here we have BS filtering. Now I've removed some of the cues that we had before, so that way we get all the low end in this one. Whoa! Here we have a bass called Mind Control, and it's going to be inspired by obviously Hardwell, the great one. All we're going to do is play A. I think we can play this on the drop. We just got to put an EQ to get rid of lows because we already have that bass. So let's try it. That's good. Let's just put some room. Nice. Okay. I'm sure I could have done it more justice, but you get the idea. We're not all perfect and stuff. Here we have a restab inspired by David Guetta. All right, guys, now we're going to get into the lead. So here we have lead analog. Now, what I've done is that I put back the EQs we had where it gets rid of some of the low end so it doesn't sound too muddy, but the rest is just saturation. I am going to get rid of the reverb and the delays from these patches. In fact, I'll leave the delay because it's not on. We have to automate that on. The reason for that is, again, I already have a reverb installed, and I hope that when you guys use these presets, you do the exact same thing. No one wants to use Serum reverb. It doesn't sound the best, and you can do a lot better. So for this, again, I'm using the Valhalla Vintage verb. It's the one we're going to go with and turning on. And there you go. I made a video before this one on how to make a Future Rave drop from scratch, where I teach you how we program the Future Rave reverb and why we compress it and EQ it. Make sure to watch it if you need help. But with that said, let's make some melodies here. Yeah, that works too. Now, usually with Future Rave melodies, the way I like to teach it is there's 2 sections on a scale where it's a lot of tension. It's going to be your 2 and your 3 in minor and your 5 and your 6. The reason why, there's half steps. Going from white to black keys, it doesn't mean it happens in every minor key, but it's always a half step. And that section or that change always causes a lot of tension, a lot of emotion, a lot of epicness. It pretty much makes the minor scale sound minor. Yeah. Let's put a little bit of a groove as well. We'll do a 1/16 just for fun, just to give it a bit of love. And with this stuff, remember, length does matter. Just to give it, like, if you want that sound, then you can get the staccato-ish. And then we're going to go maybe 132 just in case you want to do these flickers like so. Yeah, that's how we do them. Let's put the ship down. Yeah, sounding pretty good. And we're going to repeat that just because we're not trying to make a song. We're just trying to show you guys some of the sounds and from your next pack. And the idea, the reason I have that sustained out is because, again, most of these leads are going to have automations attached to them. So maybe we could do something cool with it. Yeah, we can use the mod. So from there, we're going to have this lead in. Again, just using one mod out of the rest. Let's try the detune. Here we have another lead called Crazy. Now for this one, I did out a module called Send Mode because the way that it was programmed was like this. As you can see, it's inspired by Crazy What Love Can Do by A7S. And yes, he's a Future Rave artist as well. Has a lot of streams as well, by the way. But again, I knew I was like going through some of the patches, putting in my little final touches to them. And I knew this one just needed to. Then the next lead is called Detuner, which we're going to use. And again, we'll just kind of use that MIDI, bring it here. We'll circle this one out. Oh, man. Now to go through some of the other leads that we have a lead called Diablo, which is just going to sound. Create a moment with that mod, okay, as we go along. Yep, we want to go. We have a lead called Dirty. Noisy. And then we have an extra layer. So the idea of this extra layer is we play a melody. To accentuate the melody and just make it sound a lot more epic. And again, it tickles the ears in a really good way. All right, guys, so I spent a lot of time going through some of like the ways to use the leads. The last one I'll show you is called Permanence 1 and 2. This is probably the last few that made it into the pack because I was telling Ken we need to add some more than presets in there, some Guetta ones. So this sounds it's a traditional LFO trick, but Man, it sounds good. We have one called Raver. Let's get rid of the reverb. You get where it's from. I suck at doing this melody. There's a bit of latency, but there you go. That's enough said. Then we have the Rob inspired by J Rob MD, which is a guy that Ken Bauer collab with. And finally, guys, we have a few set of PLUCKS that you can use, which sound like. Alright guys, and that is going to be the Future Rave with Ken Bauer pack, which was a dope collaboration to do. Again, we wanted to do a very affordable price for you guys, so that way it doesn't break the bank and you get some amazing sounds so that you can use them for any genre you please. But this pack was made for Future Rave, so keep that in mind. However, if you're making techno, tech house, certain kinds of tech house, then you can find it useful as well. With that being said, guys, I appreciate your support throughout the years. You know where to find me. And as always, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.